Greetings and welcome to another show of Harmonics. Today's guest is a famous, world famous photographer, Frederico Domodon. Frederico, brother,
Hey.
it just seems like I just seen you just recently.
I know.
Didn't we?
Yes.
We just kind of hung out.
Just a couple minutes.
Yeah, it just seems so beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, let's get right into what we want to talk
Yes,
about
of course,
your.
that's why I'm here. Yeah.
You know, you started out as a painter, from what I
Yes,
understand.
yeah.
Tell me about that.
I was an impressionist painter for 20 years, and I did landscapes, Tuscany landscapes, kind of Van Gogh, Monet style. And then I got into photography because I was invited to go to New York in 2011 to exhibit. So I just bought like a Coolpix camera.
Okay.
And I was blown away by New York. So when I got there, I took like 1,500 pictures. So from there, I just like showing to everybody, and people loved it and they want to buy it. So that started this whole photography. Now it's been about 6 years since then.
Just by starting just that.
Yeah, just from that.
And it was New York just because of all the different textures of buildings and
buildings, and there's Central Park, and it was just a great city to start with. And you know, it's just something that I was amazed with, and just all the sceneries that I saw there, the Empire State Building. I actually took this picture from the Empire State Building of Manhattan. So it's just things I've never seen before, and I was really blown away. So that inspired my photography.
So so you started about 6 years ago. What was your first camera? What would you actually use?
I got this Coolpix camera. It's a Nikon Coolpix.
Okay.
So from there, the minute I discovered that I could take good pictures, I bought my first DSLR within 6 months.
Okay.
And it was a Nikon DSLR camera. Yeah.
And you still have that?
No, thank God I've upgraded.
You've upgraded?
Yeah, but I haven't bought anything for about 3 years now, so I still have the same camera, which is a Nikon D3300. Yeah.
So when you go to, we're going to talk about all the different places that you went to.
Yeah.
So when you actually go, do you research the places where you want to take your pictures? You know, do you research it?
Yeah, before I go on a trip, I spent like a whole month on YouTube, on the internet, looking for the best places to capture. And, you know, I would just go online and, you know, do a heavy research. But the thing about it is when you get there, you don't really, after all those research, it's really up to what you do when you get there. It's actually about capturing the moment, being there, enjoying yourself, enjoying the moment. So the research does help, but it's really about enjoying yourself when you get to that the location.
To that location. So how do you prep before you go to a location? Obviously, you're in we're going to be talking about a lot of romantic places and historical places. How do you prep? You drink vino? What do you do? I mean, you're in Italy, I know. What do you actually do?
The secret is a big cup of coffee first.
Okay.
First thing in the morning. The best times for me to go out there to take pictures are usually first thing in the morning, about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. So I shoot between 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning. And then I go back to the hotel, rest, or get some nice lunch and get some vino. And then I go back out about 5, 6 o'clock, just right at sunset.
Okay.
Then, of course, have more vino after I shoot. So a big cup of coffee, some vino, and some pasta.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so they work. It works.
Works hand in hand.
Works hand in hand.
So when you're going out like this, you're actually using natural light. You're using actually the atmosphere of what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Because is it because it's softer, or is it just because the natural setting? I've heard that people use that. Is how you even do your, well, we're going to be looking at your landscape work. That's not how you do it?
Yeah, because you don't want to really have really a bright sunshine on your pictures.
Okay.
The light in the morning and in the evening are a little softer, so the colors do come out during those times. And the same thing too in the morning. The advantage is there's not that many people, so walking around, or tourists, you don't see that many tourists, which is an advantage. So you can focus on what you're taking pictures of. Yeah, there's not as much distractions.
So when you're out about on location, how many pictures would you normally take in a day
Yeah,
or
yeah.
yes?
I average about 500 to 800, even 1,000. Depending on the location.
Mhm.
If I love the place, I can do like 1,000 shoot a day,
Mhm.
1,000 pictures a day.
Yes.
So at least I'd say 300 to 500 shots per location. But throughout the day, at least 1,000. Yeah.
So when you take those 500 shots or 1,000 shots in a day, do you actually look at them then, or do you wait till you come home and go into your studio or into your mindset? Do you look at any of them right there?
Great question.
Mhm.
I actually don't look at them until I get home. But
Oh.
when you're on the plane, on the way home, you're a little edgy. I mean,
Mhm.
anxious and antsy
Mhm.
because like I can't wait to see my pictures.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't look at them on location because that's going to make me too hyper
Mhm.
or lose my focus on taking the
Mhm.
pictures.
Mhm.
But the minute I get home
Mhm.
from the plane,
From the flight or
from the
your
flight,
destination.
my destination, the first thing I do is turn on my computer and
There it
load up
is.
the pictures. Yeah.
Do you find yourself excited when you see some of the great work that you do? I mean, I know,
Yeah.
I think you do.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's exhilarating like that.
Oh, I mean, I was in San Francisco last week and I took a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Okay.
So I took those pictures and then I already felt there's something special about it.
Okay.
So on the way home, I couldn't wait to turn on my computer and then load up the pictures.
Mhm.
And the minute I, loaded them up, I saw like 2 or 3 that are just really, beautiful.
Eye-catching?
Yeah, eye-catching. And so sometimes and I think last Friday I knew I had something really nice.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask David to bring up a picture. I
sure,
think this
yeah,
is
let's do
is this what is this? This is Pier.
Pier 7.
This is Pier 7.
Yeah.
So tell me about this picture and how. Let's
Yeah.
take a look at it. And
This is what I call my ultimate bestseller because it has done really well. This was taken on the first year that I really got into photography.
okay.
It was an Easter Sunday and it just rained and it was lunchtime and there was nobody at the pier, so it was a good time for me to take pictures. The clouds were really beautiful at that time, so it gave that foggy look because it just rained. And I was able to capture the sailboat and the bridge and the lampposts and the benches. And it has been my number one seller.
This one right here.
And it's my bread and butter.
Is that?
So really proud of this picture.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
actually it looks like you could actually walk into the fog,
Yeah.
or have the
Exactly.
sailboat. I mean, I love the depthness because it's almost looks 3D.
Yeah.
In many
Exactly,
ways.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about this picture too, a lot of people would think it's from the first time they look at it, they would think it's Paris or New York or London, and then they see the bridge and it's San Francisco.
Yes.
So that's what makes it special. Yeah.
So let's take a look at another one, and I really enjoy this one. And this reminds me of a very historic
Yeah.
picture of just a historic picture. It has all these beautiful colors. It looks like Moorish and Moroccan, and it has all these. Tell me about this, and how
So
did you do this?
This was taken from my first international travel, which was in 2012. My first trip to Europe, which
Okay.
was Spain and Portugal.
Mhm.
And I had a friend that asked me to hike up the hill, and there's a palace. This was built in the 12th century. It's a really old palace. And I saw this hallway. I took about 5 shots. It's a beautiful hallway. As you can see, it's got Arabic and Moorish influence.
Right.
But the funny thing about this picture, it took me a couple years to discover it.
Oh.
When I first went through
You put it
I-
away, or?
well, I saw some other pictures that I thought were better, but it took me a couple years, and I went back and revisited it, and then I saw, hey, this is something special the minute I saw it, and then I printed it and then posted it on Facebook, and then people just started want to buy it, and now it's been doing really well, so it's one of my best sellers.
This is it has so much depth, so many different
Yeah.
colors. Now that's all just natural light, and
It's all natural. The floor, as you can see, is made of marble. And what's interesting about this picture, it's got that perspective. And somebody actually entitled it A Gateway to Heaven because of the
beautiful
perspective.
title.
Yeah,
Beautiful
yeah.
title.
So,
Beautiful
and it's
title.
very unique.
It is very unique. Let's go to this one. This is one of my favorites that I seen it the first time when I first met you.
Yeah.
This is actually Venice,
Venice, yeah.
my grandfather's home. Tell me about this picture.
This one was my second trip to Europe, where I actually met my wife to be at that time.
Romantic.
Yeah. So I had 5 days in Venice, and I averaged, I think, 1,000 pictures per day. Because Venice is small, so you can do a lot of walking around. You can
no
walk.
cars.
No cars. And so every corner has a picturesque scene. And this one was taken about 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning. And I was able to capture that the sunshine on the bridge, a little bit of the sunshine. And it's got the Italian flag at the same time.
Yes.
So this one, I had no idea it was going to be one of my best sellers until I got home. And when I looked at my computer, wow, I just said wow. But I don't even remember where I took it in Venice. You know, it's one of those pictures. So I call this my Venice classic, and it's also doing real well. For the people that enjoy Venice, one thing that they tell me, they feel like they're just there when they look at this picture.
Yes,
So,
you feel like you could actually go in a gondola.
Yeah,
you know.
right,
So when you went into Venice, we'll just go a little bit on Venice. Did you go on a gondola too to see some of the pictures that you did?
Yeah,
or?
we did. I think our first evening there, we took a gondola ride. But the gondola was moving a little fast because I was trying to take some pictures. So I didn't really take a picture when I was on the gondola, but it was a nice time to just, check out the place. But it was the next morning where where things happened, where I went out and took great pictures.
So you use different mediums. I've looked at some of your work.
Exactly.
It's just like, I mean, if you ever go to an exhibit to see Frederico, it's absolutely amazing. And that's what's so ironic when I've seen with Isabella and my brother Marco's house. You use canvas? Is it canvas or is it? And then you also use metal.
Yeah.
What's the difference, right? In all that?
I have two mediums that I use, and first is a canvas print, which is very traditional because it makes a picture look like a painting.
Yes.
So people with traditional homes or with traditional tastes, they enjoy the canvas more, and it's actually less expensive. And I have the metal prints, which is a more modern look on of the picture. And it's got really bright colors, very vibrant colors, and it's sharper. It's got that HD look, and it really fits into the modern homes.
It's very captivating.
Yes. Yeah.
It's because, like, you're right. The canvas looks like a painting, and the metal makes it look like you're there. And you just have that heightenedness. What does that actually, for a selling point? Which is it a balancer? It doesn't matter when people see it, or what? How does
the metal print has that wow factor. Especially I do the exhibits to art festivals. So when you display them at the shows, it really brings people into my booth because of the colors are really vibrant. So it's got that wow factor that people come in and I want to take this home, and I love the colors. And it's so bright. So I'm selling more now of the metal.
Okay, I understand that. I know my wife is talking to me on that one. Let's talk about some of the pictures that you brought in. The shot of the San Francisco Pyramid. Tell us about that.
Okay, so that was taken. I took a trip to North Beach just to get some wine and pasta.
I love this guy. He's talking my language.
But I brought my camera, of course, and I was walking around, and I had some time to take some pictures. So I saw the pyramid and the Columbus Tower, and I said, I think I laid on the ground to capture that image. And a lot of people would ask me if there's two pictures in one. I said, no, there's just one photo. So it's capturing the moment. I was there. I think I had some wine before I took the shot, and it helped.
I love this guy. So when you did that, right? Was that all natural light also?
Yes, it was right before dinner time. About 5 p.m.
So where did you position yourself right there? To take that
kind of like
in the road or in the street?
On the street, yeah. I waited for cars to
kind of pass you by.
To pass me by because I didn't care. I wanted to capture that angle, and as a photographer, you want to capture what I always tell myself as a photographer, I want something not boring. I want something that's really interesting, that's going to wow people. And because of that, you have to work a little bit.
Yes.
And if you need to lay on the ground, you got to lay on the ground. Or if you got to, and patience
is a big factor.
Yes, pay off because I waited for cars to pass me by so I can capture that shot, and it worked. Yeah.
Paris.
Paris.
Tell me about Paris. There's a beautiful shot where you have, I think you're looking upwards you're like sort of by roses. It gives you the effect. Again, it's a beautiful romantic photo.
Yeah.
Tell me about that one.
I was in Paris with my wife-to-be at that time, Joyce, and we took a trip to the Eiffel Tower. It was in the afternoon. And one of my styles as a photographer is combining a structure with nature.
Oh.
So I got the Eiffel Tower, I combined it with roses. But I had to, I remember I had my knees on the ground when I took that picture so I can kind of, look at it upward.
Yes.
So, and it worked because the roses beautifully blended with the Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
So that's a real, it's
Parisian look.
Parisian look.
Yes.
And a lot of, actually, teenagers love this picture.
Oh, I
saw
can
it to
see
a lot
that.
of teenagers.
And it has a nice pinkish feel, and then there's the Eiffel Tower right there. The Philippines, when you were in the Philippine Islands, tell me about that picture. That picture, tell me about that picture.
I was born in the Philippines and left the Philippines when I was like 16 years old, but never went back after 34 years. I went back there to propose to my wife and to get married. So we took this honeymoon. We went to Vigan, which is up north.
Okay.
And it's a village that's Spanish influence, probably built in the 1700s. It's got cobblestones and very colonial
gorgeous
homes.
work.
And they have preserved it. It's now a big tourist spot. So I remember waking up at 5:30 in the morning so I can capture it around 6:30 in the morning. And they just washed the streets, so it's got that wet look, and it was shiny.
All those
got the
reflections. Yeah.
It's nobody there, and the clouds were perfect.
Just beautiful.
Yeah, so that was another one of those first thing in the morning shots.
Let's talk about Italy. You have some very, there's this picture I seen of yours because I went to an exhibit over at Marco and Isabella's house. Tell me the one on the side of the mountain or the hill. How was that taken? Because you're at a distance, but how did you maneuver yourself there?
Yeah, so I think you're talking about Positano.
There it is.
And the minute I got there, I wasn't sure where to really capture the best angle. So what I did, I walked around for a couple of hours. I went to all the restaurants, the hotels, because that was right in front of that view. And once I found the best angle, I talked to the waiter. I told him to reserve me that table.
Beautiful.
I'll have dinner there, but at the same time, I want to take pictures. So I was there every night. I had that table right in front of this view. I got the best angle. So 3 nights in a row, I took probably 500 to 800 pictures a night. And I was very happy with the result, as you can see.
It's absolutely a gorgeous shot. Gorgeous shot.
And I have an evening shot and a day shot of that.
That's just absolutely stunning. I'm gonna bring your beautiful wife up because I know she's a big influence on you. Joy, come on up. Talk about a beautiful wife right here, man, and a happy person. Yeah, absolutely.
It's my inspiration.
There it is. That's a smart man right there. Joy, how is it when you guys travel a lot now together, huh? It's so beautiful.
Try to.
And so if you want to, and I'd like you to, could you say something in Dugali? Is it
Tagalog.
Can you say something to your family or friends and something that would be really nice?
Hi, Philippines. Kumusta po kayo? Nandito kami sa Harmonics Studio. Show po to ni Gregory Correa. Patronize niyo po yung kanyang show. And he's a very hospitable and very warm person. I believe he's a good man and also a good man of God.
Yes.
So I want you guys to look at all his shows. It is in channel 27, Comcast.
And
you could Google it, Harmonics.
Harmonics.
Gregory Correa, and it's the same thing, man.
Yes.
So you want to give your husband a kiss? So we're all good luck.
public?
Yeah, huh? It's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Joy. Yes. So she's really like, not just besides your wife, she's like somewhat, she has the same kind of things that you like.
Yeah, she loves photography and she loves taking pictures. Mostly of me. She loves taking pictures of me. But she uses her iPhone everywhere we travel. And
beautiful.
She actually had taken some great shots. She's also a photography enthusiast.
Tell me what kind of camera you use.
Actually, I have a basic Nikon DSLR. It's Nikon D3300.
Okay.
But I do have a 300 millimeter lens that I use for my long distance shoots.
Right.
And a lot of people actually think, as a photographer, you got to have like a $3,000-$4,000 cameras. They think that I have one of those, but I don't, and I haven't even upgraded. But it's really how you take the pictures,
how you see it.
How you see it. Yeah.
That's really, you know what? That is really good advice too. That's really good advice from a guy that really sells his work, but he actually tells you it's not necessary to have a really expensive, camera. Which is, I thought you'd have like, this whole big gigantic setup, and you're really carrying pretty light.
Yeah,
when you're going,
It's not even a full frame. It's a half frame camera.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing.
But it's got 24 megapixels, and I'm able to print them large from that.
Oh, so you're outstanding. Your work is out. I could just imagine what your paintings look like back in the day. But you've really donated your time right now to all of your work.
Because it seems like everybody's enjoying my photography right now, and I love the traveling part. I love to travel.
What's your next stop?
So actually, I talked to your sister-in-law. She just booked our flight to Greece and Croatia. It's this July. Me and my wife are going.
Wonderful.
To Greece and Croatia. So we're excited about it. I'm going to be focusing on Santorini, which is actually one of my paintings. So I have to look for that spot in the restaurant again.
Yeah, there you go. So Frederico, as what we normally do at the end of a show, we actually look at the camera. I like to thank everybody, and we give everybody a kiss. And do a peace sign or whatever, But what we normally do, we like to thank everybody. I like to thank my crew, David, Daniel, the great Sue Joy Sakar. I'd like to thank your wife for being here today. It's always an inspiration to have beautiful people like yourselves here. I like to bless everybody. God bless you. And
God bless you.
Peace and love to all of you.
Thank you for watching. Peace.